What is shaking, WinJet community? What? Happy Money Wednesday. Any day that ends in Y, got to be hustling and moving. Isn't that right, Russ?
Absolutely, positively.
You even rhymed. That was pretty good.
We are here, and thank you so much for putting this together, because I think we have a lot of exciting things taking place, and I love the energy and I love the excitement behind it, and I think there's more to come. So,
yes,
tell us what we have to prepare for
today. Obviously, we're going to go a little bit more in detail of the product and service, and over $3,000 worth of savings that you're obviously dumping back in and pouring back into WinJet community, which is just, again, thank you. That's just amazing how much you believe, obviously, within the opportunity. Today, I can't announce all the way, but I did share with Russ before we hit live. That's why we're going a little bit later with live, because I'm so freaking excited. Just landed a massive, and I'm talking about massive, this game's called Game Over now, deal with WinJet. So, guys, if you don't have your seatbelts on, I highly suggest you doing something to restrain yourself when this starts, when I make this announcement here, probably about the end of the week or first part of next week.
Yeah.
Guys, if you're not signed up within our community and you're not already in motion and getting things already set up for yourself, I highly suggest you making that happen by the end of the week. I'm telling you, your future self will reward you. Okay? So yes. Trust me, it's going to be massive. I just shared it with Russ. Don't tell the name and don't tell the thing, but it's massive.
Got it.
Game over. Yep. So, but today we're going to go a little bit more in detail of what the Pirate Syndicate and the production team, and obviously the live streams of what we're bringing to the table. The website, all that stuff we'll be covering tomorrow. I have a lot of the stuff on the back end. You've obviously seen the thread of the website and everything of having a standalone system. It is going to be so much fun sitting back and going, oh, that's what these crazy bald people were doing.
We call it a wide part.
You know what's funny? I was actually telling my nieces this, and it's funny. My oldest niece is Bella, and when Blakely, she's the middle niece, and she's 9. So I think she was like 4 at the time. She goes, why you don't have any hair, Uncle Chris? And I was like, I'm so smart that my hair, I can't grow hair in my head. So she actually would tell people that. She believed it.
Oh, that's brilliant.
So, man, you can tell kids anything, they'll believe it. So, all right, guys. But the main thing is we're going to cover today is obviously in a little bit more in depth on what obviously Russ is and obviously pouring back in within our community. Just to kind of little updates. We're not moving completely off of Kajabi and pulling the plug. I am going to give around 6 to 8 weeks to make sure we have enough overlap there so there's no kind of issues with the internal system. We are moving over to the winjet.com standalone, so everything will be there for you as in the services. The next thing, we're obviously opening it up. Jess Lee, the obviously rising country star that we have on board, her podcast, we did some recording on Friday, just kind of let everyone know. But she opened up the floodgates, I guess, did a soft announcement, and her fans went nuts. So, and they've been jumping on the community because we're going to obviously work out her content a little differently than most people. Okay. Is her shows, obviously, it's a future after show. So we're future pacing a little bit. So the audio will go out, but the video is obviously going through our winjet.com and having behind that firewall, obviously, all the members of the community, not just podcasters or influencers or music people or TV. It's not just that one side. We're actually opening up the floodgates of all the listeners of the shows to come in and get access to these exclusive offers that we do have in store, which is going to be really exciting. So day one, we're solving the number one problem when it comes to podcasting. Exposure. Second problem, biggest problem, how do I make money? Easy. You get an affiliate link the first day you sign up. So, and you're going to have access to all the back-end stuff to make sure you're going to grow your listenership and then grow, obviously, your pockets. So that's always going to be a fun thing. But this is about Russ. Let's kind of go into a little bit more detail. I guess we can kind of do a little overview real quick before I think you're going to share a screen as well, correct?
Yeah. Yeah. But, I'm super excited, Chris, because the community and the podcasting community has been, building. It's been growing. It's been expanding. And I think one of the things that we all understand is that there's a lot of moving parts that need to be in play for it to be successful, to 100%. Make those connections, make that revenue, adjust your message and your your community and make sure that you have people that are involved and engaged. And all of those things take a little bit of time and effort. And the 𝑊INJET community is really focused in on all of those attributes and those events taking place and helping you join into the community so you can have a lot of help, a lot of assistance, and a lot of support. And what I got so excited about when I first talked to you, Chris, was the idea that we have an opportunity to help so many people generate content to be seen, to be heard, and to be talked about. And really it's about visibility, because I believe everyone has a message, everybody has a gift. And until we actually learn how to share it, how to deliver it, and how to promote that idea to the world, it's just an idea. So I think it's really valuable for people to understand that they have a way that they can do that, and we're here to support them.
100%. I like the way you just said that too, is everyone does have a message and a gift. It might take you a little bit more time to dial in on what that gift is and clean your message up and really get pinpoint on the approach for you to reach the right people.
Yeah.
So, and here's what I do see. The biggest issue I do see, pervasive issue I see, is this. Everyone's following suit, and they're kind of unsure about the strategy in place on getting to the right people for them to hear the message that you're trying to polarize out through them. They're doing what everybody else is doing, because podcasting game is still kind of unsure about how to get to the top. And also how to sustain that type of optimal peak performance.
Yeah.
Did you see? I mean, it's obviously done by, I guess you would say, ambassadorship, not just by growing your listenership. It's grow with people have a real true following and a raving fans. So how do you create the raving fans? It starts with one.
Well, and I think that's where a lot of people may misunderstand what needs to take place, because
100%.
We've had this conversation before, Chris, and one of the best avenues of growing a business is starting to have conversations. And what better way to have a conversation than just like this? We're going live. You understand some of the things that I've brought to the table. I understand some of the things you brought to the table. And now we're going to come together and create something amazing for the entire community. And not everyone needs 1 million listeners. Not everybody needs thousands of fans in order to develop and deliver a quality product in their business. What they need is one conversation at a time to make sure that they can grow and expand and tune that message to people that resonates with, so they understand where it needs to go, who needs to hear it, and how it needs to be delivered. And that's the support that 𝑊INJET community is bringing to the table.
Right. And you're absolutely correct. It needs to start with just that one, or it needs to start, obviously, that compound effect starts happening.
Yeah.
I mean, you want to make sure that you have a system there in place to withstand those type of numbers and those type of listeners. And especially if you don't have anywhere to drive them to, then it's just kind of like you're just creating a show, not really a message behind that show with a proper strategy for you to really serve to the masses to get to the ones you really need to get to.
Well, it all starts with the foundation.
Yes.
Every skyscraper starts with a solid foundation, right? So if we're going to reach for the stars, we're going to go to space, we need to make sure that we have the fundamentals in place. Elon Musk has got it down. He's on, how many rockets has he destroyed attempting and practicing on going to space? Same thing with your podcast and your message. You need to make sure that we have the tools and the techniques and the ability to grow, and that's what the 𝑊INJET community is bringing to the table, is some feedback, some resources, some coaching, and also the technologies that need to go into that and bring it to the table. So I think it's an exciting time to live in. I get super pumped about it.
Yeah, me too. And I'm super pumped that I get to be able to work alongside of someone like you that has that experience there of things that I may be not aware of when it comes to production.
Yeah.
And that's something I definitely lean on, because I'm the kind of person, I want to know what I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, there's only so much I can pour in, right? And to be able to pour back out. So I need to have the right vehicles in place to allow me to operate that optimal level, and for you to operate optimal. Like me, I'm just not running a company. My job is to put people in a position to win. That's one. And the systems into place. And also having the capacity to expand and to scale. And I think that's what we've done here. And everyone will see it, obviously, when it takes off. And it's already, we did a soft launch so everyone kind of see what's going on. By May 1st, it's game over. And it's all the way in. So I guess we can kind of go, let's dive into the program and let's dive into what's in store of what the Pirate Syndicate is bringing to the table and pouring in with our community. Carolyn, if you want to share that screen, please.
We'll get it up.
Yeah, it should get the little.
Go through this. And just for people to frame this correctly is one of the things that is necessary to provide value to your audience is to build that foundation. And as we know, Chris, not everyone is a nerd in the herd. Not everybody wants to learn the technology. Not everybody wants to know all of the details underneath the covers. They just give me the results. Just show me what needs to be done in order for me to accomplish this. Or can you help me do this? Can you help me deliver this message? And that's really what the Pirate Syndicate is about, is this idea that with Winject, what I'm providing is a very clear, concise story and message, because what we have is this idea that together we can deliver the infrastructure that you need to scale as much as you want to scale and as far as you want to go, because it's a process. Everybody starts at zero. Everybody has to grow. And the way that we can expand on what we're doing right now is to hang out with people that know a little bit more than you did and a little bit more than you do right now, and then follow the leader, get some feedback, get some support, get some assistance, say, hey, I'm working on this problem. Can anyone help me? And when you're in a community like Winject Studios, you have a community that can help you. You can put up your hand and say, I just need some help with this. Can you help me out? So that's what we're delivering to the Winject community.
Can I put a pin on it? Just not to interrupt you. Just for everybody on, if you can see this right now, and some of you might be listening as on a podcast. If you ever need help and how to put your hand up and ask for help, and that's really difficult for some people because you might perhaps before you're asking people that weren't competent to answer the question and actually serve you.
Yeah.
We have every piece of the puzzle there to be able to answer any question you're going to throw at us. The only way for you to do that is to text 843-396-2104 and hit us with your question. If you're outside the United States or Canada, send an email at admin@winject.com and we will make sure that we're on it. And there's nothing worse to me than having someone, I had a question, I wish I would have asked for help, and then you just wasted a lot of time. So that's the only piece I wanted to put in with that.
And that's a great point, Chris. And to amplify that message is that what you're doing with the partners in Winject community is, I think, unique and special, because bringing those elements in and bringing those individuals in that can answer the question, as it relates to branding, strategy, editing, audio, all of these factors that need to be in place in order for us to accomplish our goal, is going to be there. And we're going to continue to grow. We're going to continue to build, and we're going to continue to measure this outcome. So I just want to remind people that what we're bringing to the table, I'll give you an overview of this, is all of the elements to build a foundation for a live stream will be in place. And what we're doing is providing the foundation to take the audio and then take that to the podcast. So we're going to do a 3-hour session, and I'm donating that to the Winject community. And as normally I charge a good deal of money for the strategy sessions, for the graphics, for the foundation to get your show started and up and operational. The other thing is, how do I structure my show and my setup and my design? Like you've seen all of these elements here in Chris's live streams, all of that takes time. All of that takes a little bit of time and effort and energy for somebody to create, and what we're doing is we're creating that from the podcast and the Pirate Syndicate. live stream producer is going to be available for your show. So you don't have to worry about, do I turn the knobs? When do I push the buttons? How do I operate this thing once I got it? You know, it's like dropping somebody, a 16-year-old in a race car. You don't necessarily know how to operate the vehicle. So get some help in operating the vehicle. The other thing is, I find a lot of podcasters are challenged with the booking process and getting that process to be seamless. And you've had the experience of booking through my process and
Yes.
some of the things that I've built.
Seamless.
And it's pretty super simple. And you know, it takes a long time and a lot of energy to build these processes and to develop them to the point where they look super simple. You know,
They were even autos, like I don't know if you had the tripwires there to remind the staff. I love that, those reminder emails. Hey, did you get everything you need? I mean, here's how to go here. I think you had a couple videos there. Didn't you have a couple of videos or something? I know when I went on board, I was always going on your show. I was like, wow, this is impressive.
Well, and those are the elements we want to design and develop and create and deliver for everybody in the WinJet community. You know, if you need help with production, this is what Chris has brought to the table in the community. And this is what we want to offer individuals that are focused on growth. They're focused on their business. They're focused on their genius zone.
Yeah.
You know, if this is not your genius zone, then we need to have a conversation. So what you end up with is, you know, social media material. You end up with all the audio for your upload, depending on what you want to do with it, and show transcription for your blog posts, and then also audiograms for additional content, and then post-show social media promotions. So you have pre-show promotions, you have post-show promotions, you have the live stream, you have the audio. So it's an entire package. And what we do is provide the producer, we provide the opportunity to book guests and everything that goes along with that. And then also all of this advanced show setup and all of the content creative and the strategy and all of that pieces, I normally charge $3,200 for that. So what Chris has negotiated on behalf of WinJet Studios is that piece of the puzzle will be a benefit for members of the WinJet community. And you have an opportunity to get your show started, get your production in place, get all of this content produced for you on your behalf for the WinJet community and your podcast as well.
And just to sprinkle something on top of that, and thank you again. I'm always going to be forever grateful for being open to kind of building it out a certain way where we can get them off in a faster type of, like I guess you would say, start with it, because that's the number one thing that people get bogged down with time with, is trying to get. So they might have a great message and a great interview. Well, the post-production is just not that great, and it looks like everybody else's. And that's what I mean by getting a pinpoint approach and a proper strategy for the people that need to hear your message. So, like, perfect example, like I did a video clip on my social media last night, and it's some of the things that I've obviously switched up, because everybody else that I see that does interviews, they'll clip something like for a minute and a half or 2 minutes, a clip of the thing. Well, I did a highlight. So I clipped and took my own time to kind of get my hands around it. I did like 5 clips of certain pieces. And then Carolyn, what she was so happy of being able to do, she was like, yeah, right. So she got it over to David, and they picked out certain clips. And obviously, if you go to my social media, just go to Lord Chris Ross on IG, and you'll see the highlight. The highlight was just kind of giving people a little bit more of what's going to happen, not just a whole long like riff. And that works for my obviously strategy. Yeah. It's not going to work for everybody else's, but does that some of the things obviously you go through, and I know what you bring to the table, and I've already been through that with your show, but walk them through, I guess, for a couple, just maybe some examples on what the social media promotion is all about. Well,
think of this, you know, if you have your strategy and all of the things that are the foundation, right? Once we have that foundation in place, Chris, then what we need to do is test those elements.
Okay. Perfect.
You know, because I think I think there's different audiences.
Mhm.
And somebody that might be more focused on Facebook connections and community over there, going live with a segment that points back to your podcast, points back to your broadcast might be a good strategy. IG is another strategy. You could do IGTV and talk about all of these elements that are being referenced in your strategy over in your podcast. So what we want to do is make sure that we have a clear understanding of all of the elements, and then build on those elements and test and use some techniques that are out there, and then lead in those environments, lead your community, and make sure that they have the information that they need. And then use strategy along with that, because building the foundation is the first piece. Building a strategy is an ongoing effort. And so, like, if you're the host, like the win-win effect, right? So all of a sudden you're interviewing people, then you have those pieces of the puzzle, and we provide all the stuff. Then what we do together over the duration of your development is then we add things to that puzzle. We add things to those sessions and those podcasts, and we continue to build on that. And then ultimately it's back to be seen, be heard, and be talked about, and know that people actually understand what value you deliver and what you bring to the table, and when they need to connect with you and reach out and contact you.
I'm sure that you're doing this. Are you tracking some of the metrics before and then after and during, I guess you would say, in some, what is your, I guess you would say, are you looking at it weekly, bi-weekly? Are you looking at monthly when you're looking at these type of metrics? Because you don't want to move too many parts, right? You want to make sure you have a solid, you mentioned that something, just to touch on this, for a solid foundation, it depends on what altitude you're trying to get to with your show. So, like, perfect example, I'm in Canary Wharf in London right now. Well, that's London's growing, okay? They got skyscrapers going up everywhere. Well, to build a skyscraper, they need to drill all the way down. So when you're building a foundation, it's not just putting a couple center blocks on the ground and kind of going.
Right.
You need to make sure, depending on how high you want to go with your show and what you want to reach, you need to go down and strip down to all the way down to where you have that solid concrete foundation. And it sounds like to me that's what you're doing.
Absolutely. And I don't want to go too far in the weeds, but when we do the strategy sessions, Chris, what we'll also include is a baseline of where you are today.
Okay.
Where's your audience? What's your products? What's your keywords? What are you looking to accomplish? And all of those pieces of the puzzle, it's essentially a strategy session that allows us to actually decide where and how we're going to move the needle first, and how we're going to measure the results. Because there's lots of ways that we can, measure results. And what I tell people is, if you're increasing your conversations with people that help your business, that's a good measure. If you're just looking likes and visibility, that's another measure. It may not be the same for everyone. However, we just need to understand what we're measuring, how we're measuring it, and what the success criteria needs to be.
I love that.
So that's one of the elements that we need to make sure that we understand and appreciate. And just to give you I put this up here because, like the transparent background, you have a certain show look and feel that's in line with your brand. It's, the orange is key on your website. It goes back. There's continuity in that. So like mine is a certain way, and the Pirate Broadcast, I've, over 400 episodes. I
saw that. Congratulations, by the way.
Yeah. Thank you so much. And, I've created many more podcasts of that. I've helped produce many more podcasts than that. And all of these pieces of the puzzle take time, effort, and energy that I want to make sure that you have access to. You have the authority and the ability to actually push through this and accelerate to where you can get started successfully. And then, the graphics for social are important because you need graphics before and after. And also, like we talked about, audiograms may be the place that you want to go. Snapshots, or actually IGTV or stories, may be an element that we want to place in there. And it all goes back to how much time we can actually compress into your day, or how much effort and energy you have to be able to dedicate to this effort. So, and that's all part of the strategy sessions that we're going to be putting into this.
So say let's kind of break down like 3 type of customer avatars. You have someone that does have a little bit of reach and they have a little bit of success with their podcast. And they want to expand also with their listenerships and get the main things they're looking for is more engagement.
Yeah.
So if they're looking for more engagement, so say for instance, normally if you're in that type of place, I guess, level, you would probably have a team that does that, like does more of your thing. So say for instance, if I'm running businesses, I don't have the time available to be able to spend with you 60 minutes on a phone call talking about the strategy. Do you work with some of their staff and maybe a higher level type of podcaster or an influencer? Or what does that kind of look like? Okay.
Absolutely. Well, in to answer your question directly is that you may be the voice of the business, and some of the teams of people that are helping and assisting through that process, delivering your products and services can, it's just like the number, 843-396-2104 is where you get help with Winject. There's other businesses that have resources available. Call our team at XYZ or email at A, B, and C, or fill out the form or download this product. All of those elements can be included in the strategy. And it's not necessarily that you want to do, like I don't produce every show that I put out there.
100%. I mean, it's impossible. This would be impossible.
And the whole point is we all want to scale to the next level, whatever that next level needs to be for us. So directing people in the engagement process is going to be important and key to our success. And how we present that needs to be authentic. It needs to be transparent. And we need to say, this is what you can expect along the journey. And like going live, just like this, is a great way to interact as well. We could actually interact with people and create a live session that we can actually answer questions, do Q&As. So it's just, and all of those pieces are viable. However, in order to figure all of that stuff out, it takes time. It takes effort. It takes energy. It takes, a little bit of focus. And since we've already been doing that for a while now, you can accelerate past that learning curve and get to where you need to be.
Right. And that's why I've taken my time of gathering enough data. I did that on purpose because when you're looking at taking on board 100 shows overnight, or 200 shows or 500 shows. When I build a business, I build it backwards, and so that way I'm able to scale it to 10,000 shows overnight if I needed to. And if I'm able to do that with obviously the partnerships that we have in place, that, when we're open for business, we're open for business now. So that's why I advise anybody listening to this or tuning in, and maybe you're involved with the beta phase. Beta phase looks completely different than the way it looks right now. You've seen what the beta, you were here for the beta phase. You've seen what the beta phase is. It's nothing like what we have going on.
Yeah.
So, and that's why I advise, I know there's a lot of people out there, and, the course, they want to be able to see, obviously, the visible proof, or they want to see the outcome. And there's no guarantees in life. But the main thing I'm telling you right now, before we get flooded, you might want to make sure that you're in, I guess, the first part of the Mohicans going through.
Yes, absolutely. And to your point, Chris, and I just have to, make sure that everybody understands that everyone starts at zero.
Yep.
And we have the same ability and opportunity to be as much as we want to be and scale to the ability and the opportunity we have in front of us. And what you're doing is opening the doors for those key people that are saying, hey, I'm going to be a leader in the industry. I'm going to be a leader in my technology. I'm going to speak to the gift that I have, and I'm going to be delivering these results over and over again. And with that, you have a team. You already have, you're walking in the door to an opportunity that is a once in a lifetime opportunity. And we want to make sure that you have the ability and the opportunity to grow to the degree that you want to grow.
And it's not to handicap you either.
No,
we and because here's the thing, when you make it so accessible and having all these, I guess, metrics and all the different angles,
mm-hmm.
and if you're starting at zero, great, but we want to make sure that we have the systems in place and the educational approach, or all-in-one educational approach and hub. So we have all these things available. So what you need to start doing is you need to learn from the people that we have in place. So that way you can start hiring a staff underneath you if you don't have one yet.
Yeah.
Then you can start taking a lot of that stuff off of you.
Yeah.
And people don't really understand how much energy that you actually burn on things that you cannot recycle your energy through. So if I'm working on a website, which some certain things I have to do certain parts of my day and looking at reports, well, I'm using one part of my brain that doesn't get me to the overall outcomes in my optimal level.
Yeah.
Okay. But when I'm having conversations and I'm in a conversation, or I'm motivating or inspiring or whatever I'm doing, that brings me fulfillment and joy and bliss.
Yeah.
I'm plugged into my source and I'm recycling energy now. But when I'm doing other things that I guess particularly I don't like to do, and it's not my zone of genius,
it drains you.
It 100%. Like, I have to get on a phone. Sometimes when I'm working on that one part of my brain, Russ, like, I have to make a phone call before I go live or before I do something to get my juices going again. Like, I'm on the wrong side of my head. So
yeah, I completely understand that. Yeah.
I just making that example for people, because I don't know what is their level of understanding of energy and how to recycle. It's just, I'm speaking from a little bit of experience here.
Yeah.
Take my word for it, because what'll end up happening if you're using a certain part and you're outside your comfort zone or outside your zone of genius too long, this is where burnout happens.
Yeah. That's exactly how burnout takes place as well. And and you're in or out when you're watching the clock or hours go by and you don't even notice.
Yeah, no, you look up and you're like, why is it dark outside?
What? How did it get to be 2 a.m. in the morning?
Like, what happened? It's like, did I eat today? What happened?
What happened?
It's like you blacked out or something. And of course, and I'm thinking everybody in entrepreneurship, you fall victim to this at some point.
Yeah.
And you have to make that hard pivot and going, okay, in order for me to get here, I can't take this with me here. I need to drop this skill and pour back in, pour out to pour back in.
Yeah.
To add more. So how can I add more? Well, you can't hold on to everything. Like, because whatever got you at that point and got you here, it's not going to get you to where you want to go.
No.
You have to surrender.
And also to echo that is, we have to become different people to go to a different level.
Mm-hmm.
And the way that a lot of people have found the magic in that process is by surrounding themselves with people that have the knowledge and the expertise, 100%. And also hiring coaches. The best coaches in the world hire coaches. It's no secret, to use a sports analogy, the best coaches are the ones that have the coaches, right?
Well, I interviewed one. The episode dropped last night. He's a coach to the coaches. Yeah. Like, I don't want, just to kind of shout out to Richard Dolan. Rich, man, I love you, bro. Like, that conversation took place about 8-10 weeks ago, and it finally dropped because I knew what was going to happen with Winject season and how much time that I needed to invest in building this. So I recorded a crap ton of episodes before we kind of got into the nitty gritty of this.
Yeah.
So that conversation went live. He was the coach of Oprah Network, some of the biggest brands, Google, Pagani, Braun. I mean, he's with Mike Tyson, been with Mike Tyson for 12 years.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got 2 championships rings. You know what I mean? With the Miami Heat, like, guys, like, he has a coach.
Yeah.
Everyone has a coach. You have to lean on people, and that way you're able to learn more things and absorb more information. If you're a part of a conversation and those high level conversations, you're going to be now more equipped to handle anything that life throws at you.
And to also add to it, we don't have all the answers. And the reason we don't have all the answers is because building a community is really what it's all about. And what you have, your secret sauce, Chris, and what I've noticed about your gift to the world is bringing people together that complement each other, that can assist and support the community that are community-focused individuals and also available to assist and support others that come in, walk through the door, and ask for help. So
I appreciate that. That means a lot to me. There's a lot of strategic thinking that comes into place when I look at a partnership.
Yeah.
You can't, yin and yang does work.
Absolutely.
But it has to be aligned with the deep core values and principles that they live by.
Yeah.
And if they're able to complement that type of partnership or brokering that and partnering the right people up, then that's where miracles happen.
Yeah. And the magic's going to happen. So just to recap, the strategy delivers when you walk in the door. It gets delivered. We'll plan sessions out. We'll make sure that everything is in place. The show results are going to be the transcription, the audio files, the video files, and the audiograms and the promos, whatever we decide is going to be ideal for you to start with. So don't hesitate to get involved in the WinJet community. Make sure that you have everything you need in order to accomplish your goals. And, we're going to be focusing on SEO. There's another offer and opportunity that we added to the equation. And that's basically if you're doing a YouTube channel and you just need some help on the descriptions and the SEO, focused words and messages, we're going to add that to the equation as well. So I don't know if you want to talk about that at all, or if you're
that was actually that message well with what I want to challenge everybody with. And Carolyn, I know that she's here, so she's pushing buttons and stuff.
Yeah.
Carolyn, I would like to do it. This has always helped every community that I've ever built. And of course, before I would talk in front of live stages and live audiences, I would be one-on-one.
Yeah.
That conversation. You start zero, right? You start it somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to look at the accountability piece. So what I'm in the process of right now, and this might help with this, Russ, is that maybe weekly we put some type of questionnaire in place, maybe a status report of, hey, this is what's happened this week. Here's what I'm excited about. Here's some of the bottlenecks that I kind of see. And then that's how we're able to keep evolving and keep growing and adding more to the system to be able to plug in the holes.
Yeah. Well, I love the idea, and I love the opportunity that we can actually leverage different perspectives too, because we may not see all our blind spots, right? When you're inside the box, you can't see the label, it's
100%.
Like
100%. And you don't want to have an ugly baby syndrome. There are ugly babies out there.
Oh, look at that baby.
Like, that's an ugly baby. That's a fun conversation. But like, look at my baby. I'm like, whoa, goodness gracious. Yeah. but that's, because you love your baby that much.
Yeah.
You don't want to say, okay, it needs, obviously some tender love and care in certain areas.
Yeah. Yeah. We can all grow up. We can all grow up and create value, right?
Right.
It's absolutely there. So I just want to make sure that everybody has the support necessary and needed to, new live streaming introductions, the converting a contact into contracts. That's what business is about. And really, at the end of the day, we want to make sure that you have the opportunity to build your business, grow your business, and be able to make an impact in the world. So, and also long-term relationships. I see this as a long-term. This is not one and done. This is not a transactional thing. This is an evolutionary thing that we'll continue to grow and build on.
100%. In the process of some of the things that I've discussed with the partner I will be announcing here soon. There's quite a bit of partners that I haven't announced. We haven't announced just yet. We're just in the second wave of every week. Russ will be going live, not just myself, going live once a week, same time, same bad channel, to kind of go over a certain topic and all the bullet points that he kind of covered. Yeah. That way, it really does for two things. One, promotion of the show, and shows people from the outside looking in, wow, they're just going live and talking about this stuff. Like, they would normally be charging. That's the point. We're not trying to take from a podcaster. We're trying to pour into a podcaster.
We want to deliver the value that you need, regardless of where you are.
100%.
It's going to be, and then if you're willing and open to joining us and coming in the door and asking for help, we're here. And you know exactly what to ask for, because we're going to be doing this. We're going to be delivering this every week. I'm going to have Q&A, and we're going to deliver some sessions on some ideas that you can use in your own business, and just continue to expand on this message.
And I appreciate that. And you mentioned Q&A. That's going to take, just like in any partnership or any kind of, like, even when I was back in the day when I was young, not a kid anymore. Yeah, Arrested Development intro right there. For those who caught that. When I was back in those days, I would pretty much ask him at the first call, here's the things that I do accept. Here's the things that I do not accept. If you're willing to meet me there and we have a verbal agreement, I promise you I'll do everything in my power to guide you and point you in the right direction. But you need to tell me right now that you agree to these terms verbally. They say, yes, I want your help. I make them say it. I want your help. I'm not going to put you in that obviously binding type of situation. But when you ask for help in a different way of signing up for a trial and coming on board, I look at that as a cry for help. You don't need to tell me it is, or it might not be that situation for you, but I take it that way.
Yeah.
That's the amount of effort that we're putting into this, is that I look at that as a cry for help going, I need help. And you don't need to, then there's no judgment involved.
No.
And that's why I was obviously able to do what I've done at the levels that I've been able to accomplish it. And I'm very blessed, and I'm a shared legacy. I wouldn't be here without all the help that I've actually received. So
no. And the reality is that there are people in front of us and there are people behind us. And it's our obligation, and it would be tragic if we didn't take this advice, is to, continue to grow, continue to learn every single day, do something that's going to be magic for tomorrow, and also reach back out, help and assist those and support those that are on their own journey following you, and lift them up as well. Give them some light and shine that light on other people, and make sure that you're out there supporting the communities and supporting the ideas that are growing and expanding, because you can't teach without learning, Chris.
100%.
And so this is the whole mentality of what WinJet Community is all about, is we're here to help each other grow and expand and network and build and make a difference, make it matter, make a dent in the universe.
And I love you said make a dent in the universe. I love that. And the only way you can make a dent in the universe is obviously collectively, in my opinion. Yeah. And just kind of give advice to people who are out there looking for coaches or looking for assistance or mentorship. Seek mentorship, and you'll end up doing it through putting out the right type of vibration to be able to attract the right one into your life at that time. When you're seeking a certain mentor and then they have all the answers to the problems, that's a sign that you need to move on and obviously attract something higher. Yeah. Because you never want to have a mentor or a person there if they don't live by that method or that principle of always learning something new, then that's a red flag. Just giving you a little bit of help, a little bit of guidance.
Just a little heads up there.
Right. So, anything else you want to add, man? Thank you for staying a little bit longer. Obviously, I got really excited before we jumped on here. I was so excited. You were the first person I told. I was like, oh my God, this actually took place today, and it's game over now. So it's so much fun.
It's absolutely a phenomenal adventure, and I'm looking forward to hanging on and joining as we ramp up and start rolling this thing and building on it and growing it and bring more people onto the community. It's just a phenomenal adventure. And I just encourage each and every one of you, if you're ready, willing, and able to step onto the bus and the train and the adventure, come on board and join us.
Right. And we leave it right there. Guys, y'all be well. Do you hey, the main thing I want to mention real quick before I hit you with the outro, do me a favor. If you're watching these live, send us a text message at 843-396-2104. And just let us know you are watching live. There's a couple names that are always here. If you're not watching us live, make sure you send an email or send us a text message. You're not here live.
Yeah.
And if you would like to be here live, we're going to have a schedule up. Like I went live on Monday, I think it was at 2 p.m. Eastern with Doug Sandler. It's the same time he'll be going live on Monday by himself or a member of staff. On Wednesday, this time was at 1:30 Eastern. So when was it? 1:30 Eastern?
10:30 Pacific.
Yeah, 1:30 Eastern.
Yep.
Russ Johns will be going live here. Either him or a member of his staff.
Yep.
You'll have tomorrow, I'm going live at, I think, 2 p.m. Eastern with Jason and Zach from Market House, the website developers. Stay tuned for that tomorrow. They will be going over the custom-made site for only $500. They're going to build your own site. And if you have a site, great. Well, they can fix it. Obviously, you can see our website, right? They will custom make it up to your standards and whatever you're trying to accomplish. Because you passed the visual test, now they're open to listen to you. So
fantastic.
They'll be going live. Then I have a couple other partnerships I can't announce just yet. Monday through Friday, we'll have some type of live coming from a partner going over some of the exclusive offers, just to let everyone know. So if you're not watching these live, let us know where you would like to watch them. You can watch them on Facebook, you can watch them on YouTube, and you can watch them on LinkedIn when I'm here. When I'm not here, obviously, we don't have the one for Winject Studios on LinkedIn. It's just my personal one. But until we get that obviously linked up. But the main thing is I want you to do is we have the playlist inside of Kajabi for now until we go all the way live with the other site. That playlist is there. So if you're inside of Kajabi, go all the way to the top, and it has the playlist you can watch the last live. Watching the last live is important because it kind of keeps you updated on what some of the changes that we're making. Some people I had conversations with, I think 2 weeks ago, up until now, they're like, I haven't watched the last 2 weeks. I'm like, whoa, you're way behind. Like you're talking about you're talking about a show art right now. Like I'm talking about how to like monetize getting you to $100,000 level within the next 2 months. Like you got to catch up. Like
stay tuned, stay in touch.
Put in the work. I promise you lean into it and be open to change.
Yeah.
And just be adaptable to change. And I promise you'll see an impact. I promise you.
Fantastic. So, thank you so much, Chris, for the opportunity and the adventure, and look forward to next steps. And next week, we'll be talking about some of the things in a little bit greater detail. So sign up, get notified, make sure you show up.
That's right. Visit Be Seen, Be Heard, Be Talked About. I hit him with your punch. All right, Caleb, I'm going to hit it. Y'all guys take care.
Take care.
This podcast is part of the Winject Studios Network, where podcasters come together to focus on community, collaboration, and collective impact. For more information on how to apply to join the network, go to www.winject.com. That's WINJECT.com. If you're ready to make a difference through podcasting, then we're ready to see you there.